So then how did you meet Brian Gatewood and Alessandro Tanaka?
It was through this project. I came into, I met with John Hodges at A24, and he mentioned in the meeting this weird idea that these guys had come to him with, and I thought it sounded intriguing, and it was, I think I'd just done season 1 of Documentary Now, and so it was in a similar vein. It felt similarly, sort of like an exploration of a sort of film genre, and also the fact that there was, it was foreign set was really appealing to me. So anyway, so I was interested, and I sort of told him I was a fan. At the time, I was at SNL and doing Documentary Now, so I was like, well, it sounds great, but unfortunately, I don't think I can do it. But yeah, good luck. And then about 6 months later, they called me up and said, we still haven't done it. Looks like we might be moving ahead. Would you like to, read a script and maybe, come in and talk about it? So I got the first episode draft then and read it. And, it was funny because it was quite different. There were elements of what it is in what we did, but it's quite different. It was, again, there was a lot more sort of action and a lot of jokes. And I met with Brian and Alex, and I didn't have any sense of them. My experience was sort of SNL writers who have a very particular sort of style and tone, and this was sort of different, and it did take me a minute to sort of adjust to this, like, oh, this is like really different and interesting. So yeah, I met them maybe a few months after that, and really I think what we hit it off on was once we actually start talking about our own favorite films and sort of what they felt influenced them, and then what I felt like we could do with the show. Like, we sort of came together and sort of realized that we had similar intent for the whole thing, and so then from there we the three of us sort of then developed the plot line for the 6 episodes together and figured it out, which was it was a fun experience. They again, as writers, are wonderfully collaborative. There was no, they were always open to notes and always open to conversations, and it was a really fluid process the entire way through, which was great.
Wow, that was probably incredibly important, because if you're going to then go over to a country that I don't know if either or any of you had visited before,
right,
and really be fish out of water with the crew and everything, you would need.
Yeah. Well, it was also the whole thing sort of accelerated very quickly. So it went sort of, I think, from me meeting them for the first time to maybe then I went and shot Documentary Now, the second season, and then right at the tail end of that, there was suddenly we want to go shoot this, the entire series. Initially, it was just going to be a pilot, and then it was like, no, we think we're going to, A24, we're just going to pay for the whole 6 episodes, and we're going to go do it. And when the window is, we got to do it before winter hits really hard in Romania. So yes, suddenly I sort of found myself, racing towards Romania, and then we landed there and started prep with maybe 2 episodes complete scripts. We had an outline for the whole season, but we hadn't yet sort of really finished the scripts. And as we were prepping those guys, I sort of kept them locked in a hotel room while I was out around location scouting, and literally sort of phoning and going like, hey, I found this amazing New York City backlot of this studio. I think that could be the finale episode, and it was really, and then also meeting actors we were sort of casting, and you start to hear their anecdotes and stories about the time period we were addressing, or family members, stories. And so it was a really cool, fluid thing that we're able to sort of keep basically addressing and adapting and sort of bringing those elements into the scripts. Like they weren't sort of some sealed, vault of narrative that we couldn't touch. We were able to sort of really keep molding it as we went, which again, crews obviously don't love it when you don't have a finished script once you start prep, because they obviously need to know what they're doing, and you can sort of reassure them and tell them as much. No, this is what the scene's going to be. But until they see it on paper, oftentimes they just don't believe you, for good reason, because oftentimes things change. But so they, it definitely stressed people out a little bit. I think the Romanians especially, because they weren't used to working that way. But I think in the end it really helped sort of give the show a sort of a particular Romanian flavor that we probably couldn't have done if we just written the entire thing before going and just sort of turned it over. So it was a good process in the end.
Did you take a guide with you or an interpreter? I mean, how would you even know just some of the some of the customs and things that to ingratiate you to the area?
I mean, yeah. Again, obviously, I did a lot of research about that time period before goings, but then, no, I mean, almost most of our crew, really spoke good English, and so that wasn't too much of an issue. And we had a local production, like a local studio that was basically producing things for us, who were really collaborative and helpful as well, and guided us. So I think Brian's going to magically appear next to us.
Oh, great! All right, ding.